Now that Summer Game Fest is officially over, and we basically know the rest of the 2024 gaming calendar, I thought it'd be the perfect time to look ahead and give you my top 25 most anticipated games of 2025. It's no secret that 2024 is a bit slow on the big releases, but that just means that 2025 is jam-packed with epic, amazing titles. Majority of these games have been dated, some are just insinuated, but all of them can come out in 2025, and we're going to be counting it down from 25 to 1. Let me know what game you're most excited for in 2025 in the comments down below, and here we go with the list. At number 25, we have Muggenics, from the team that brings you Binding of Isaac and all sorts of quirky, creepy chaos. This game has been in the works for 10 years. It is a TCB, a tactical cat battler, and raising up an army of meow hairballers is going to be very interesting as we take on all sorts of quirky foes, and I expect there to be something lurking beneath the surface, just like there are in many of Edmund Millen's games. No set release date on this one, but it is scheduled for sometime next year. At number 24, we have Expedition 33. This game was recently revealed at the Xbox Showcase, and it combines a strange French mystery with all sorts of JRPG action. The game looks absolutely gorgeous and sees you trying to stop a painter who is somehow erasing the world of everyone number by number. There's a chance that this game is absolutely horrible, but given that Xbox had enough confidence to place it in their showcase, I'm hoping the quality is already guaranteed at a certain level, and hey, we can always use a very fun, intriguing story, a mystery, with some awesome turn-based battles. At number 23, we have Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Get your brains ready for some epic puzzler action on Nintendo Switch from a character that dominated the handheld scene for years. The Professor has not made an appearance yet on a Nintendo Switch, and so this will be his first chance with an awesome new look at a steampunk world and all sorts of clever puzzles and just a nice Disney-like charm. I think it's the perfect Switch game, the perfect portable game, and it might even be a Switch 2 game when it drops sometime in 2025. At number 22, we have Atomfall from Rebellion. They know how to make a campy shooter, and I've loved their Zombie Army trilogy and many others that they have released across the years. Atomfall looks to be a World War II Europe game, but plagued with robots and some sort of demonic Cthulhu-type cult. There's absolutely a lot more evil underfoot besides just guns and bayonets, and I'm very eager to see what kind of enemies they throw at us. We got just a small tease, but I know with the pedigree of Rebellion that this will be a fun shooter worth your time and probably worth your price, as it most likely releases lower than $70. At number 21, we have Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, which might seem high on this list, but as it is a remake, I'm not giving too much credit to replaying a game that many of us have played before. But if you haven't, then hey, it's a brand new Metal Gear. We'll just have to see how good of a job they do now that Kojima is no longer involved with the franchise. A few attempts previously have been a bit rough, so hopefully this one can absolutely deliver. No word on the release date, but I do expect it to end up coming out sometime in the first half of 2025. At number 20, we have Cairn, an intense climber that really emphasizes the dire straits of climbing straight to the sky. It's got to be scary as heck to just rely on your upper body strength and a few ropes to ascend a mountainside, and that's what this game embodies, with what looks to be a control scheme that beautifully blends simulator with arcade. It feels to be right in the middle, where it will be challenging and harder than many climbers that we see, and of course way more difficult than something like Uncharted or Tomb Raider, but it doesn't seem to be too crazy where you're going to be turned off if you're anything but an actual rock climber. I'm very looking forward to seeing what they can accomplish when the game releases next year. At number 19, we have Slay the Spire 2, the sequel to the amazing card game roguelite Slay the Spire. I'm obsessed with card games. Anything that has them already has my interest, and Slay the Spire is a national treasure. So what can they do to improve upon the formula? The early screenshots and trailer look to be a lot more of the same, but I'm guessing they're hiding more things back closer to release, and they will show us exactly what makes this sequel truly a sequel. At number 18, we have Battle Vision Network, which is the new game from Cappy Games, a phenomenal studio that knows how to perfectly mix exciting, bold graphics with awesome, addictive gameplay. Battle Vision Network seems to be the multiplayer twist on Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, and that game was amazing back on the DS, so I'm eager to see what they can do in a competitive space and with a very cool, quirky set of characters. At number 17, we have Possessors, a new Metroidvania 2D platformer from the studio that made Hyper Light Drifter. It has all sorts of hyper light action in there with gorgeous artwork and amazing character animation and movement. Can this rise above and be the Prince of Persia Lost Crown of 2025, or will it end up being just another forgotten Metroidvania? Time will tell, but I do trust the developers, and that epic reveal trailer was very inspiring. At number 16, we have State of Decay 3. A triple jam for the zombie community shooter builder. Can Microsoft raise this to new heights? The first game caught all of us by surprise, but I feel like the sequel let most of us down. Does Xbox have what it takes to make this game mainstream and major? Can it become a big tentpole release for Microsoft in 2025, or will it feel just like an indie game that's never truly evolved? We'll wait and see, but I have a lot of hope after a very cool CG but supposedly in-game trailer that we saw at the recent Xbox showcase. At number 15, we have Death Stranding 2. All I want to say about this game is there is a freaking marionette on your shoulder, which is just bonkers. This is Kojima being Kojima, and it's got all sorts of stars scanned into the game, as you've come to expect from this franchise, which awesomely is now a franchise. The gameplay turns some off with the first iteration, but maybe this time around they can make things a bit more complicated, a bit more involved, and still deliver a chaotic, crazy storyline that hooks you from both ends, the plot as well as the playability. At number 14, we have Pokemon Legends ZA. We know this is a follow-up to Pokemon Legends Arceus, but all we have is a mood trailer thus far. The giant city is exciting and intriguing, and I do love what they did with the original Pokemon Legends franchise, and I'm curious to see how they can expand upon it with a second attempt around. Pokemon has now gone open world after Scarlet and Violet, and Pokemon Legends was very involved with you actively creeping and crawling around trying to catch your critters in balls. How will they build upon that, and is Pokemon ready to take another leap after Scarlet and Violet took the series to bigger and bolder places than ever before? At number 13, we have Cuffbust, which looks like a viral YouTube hit in the making. This game is going to pop off, and this game is going to be big on Steam in 2025. Gather up some friends, become some crazy gelled aliens, and bust out in what they're describing as an escape room type game, which had me hooked from the jump. I love escape rooms, and if they can capture any sort of that mentality in this digital game, and then bring in multiplayer, and bring in an awesome crazy set of characters and scenarios with infinite replayability, it could be a hit for a long time to come. At number 12, we have Jurassic Park Survival, which is a horror-based Jurassic Park game, slowing things down and removing the sim and putting you straight into the terrifying dinosaur action. Can they deliver something that is more than just a licensed game with a big dinosaur model? I sure hope they can. It feels like the initial trailer suggested that this game was going for more of a Resident Evil type feel, and I hope that's what they're able to achieve with Jurassic Park Survival. I hope it's more action game than walking simulator. We have plenty of those, and I want this to be really enmeshed in the Jurassic Park universe, but also giving you good stuff to do. I don't want to just walk around and make sure that I hide in the closet or hide in the locker from the dinosaur. Give me some good gameplay systems, some upgrades, and a way to progress my character in both plot and what I'm personally doing on the controller. At number 11, Monster Hunter Wilds. Pretty high on this list for what many might mark as their number one game of 2025, but I'm a little bit tepid. I thought the initial trailers were interesting, but the whole muddy, sandy world that they've shown off thus far just doesn't appeal to me all that much. I thought Monster Hunter World was a fantastic title, but I do personally find the games a bit repetitive, and I'm not much of a co-op player, so it loses some of its luster there. I am hopeful that Monster Hunter Wild's dynamic new weather system can really draw me in, and the fact that you are able to hunt these prey in many different ways with all sorts of mounts, all sorts of friends or solo, and all sorts of new monsters. With its graphical superiority releasing next gen only, maybe this is one that can capture my heart once again, and if it comes to Switch 2 and I can take it on the go, even better. At number 10, we have South of Midnight. The new Xbox joint, a new IP, and looking to borrow a very strange style that we've seen in a number of movies. It's kind of got that Across the Spider-Verse look, a little bit of like a claymation look where the frame rate is intentionally slowed down. Some people are put off instantly by the art style, but I did think the gameplay looked right up my alley. It felt kind of like a 360 game in the best ways possible, and I'm hoping that this new IP from a studio that has a lot of promise but hasn't necessarily delivered can actually be a breakout hit for Microsoft. In any scenario, a new IP is great, and especially this generation where I feel like there's such a heavy reliance on tried and true franchises. At number 9, we do have a tried and true franchise, but one that has delivered 2 knockout punches, and with Little Nightmares 3, I'm hoping they can complete the trilogy in an epic way. I do think I prefer Little Nightmares 1 over 2 because it did stay simpler, and in some ways, maybe that's what Little Nightmares 3 needs to go back to. There was just something naturally terrifying about being on a ship with giant, weird, evil Muppets. Give me more of that, more chase sequences, a little bit of demented nature, and maybe not so much esoteric thinking and plot. I think we need to focus back on what made this great, which was a simple, small creature trying to avoid all of these grabby hands. At number 8, we have Fable. What is Fable? Well, it's apparently a game where you're a hero, but do you get to design that hero, or is it a preset hero? We know very little about Fable outside of the 2 trailers Microsoft has shown. There's no guarantee that this game even hits 2025, but I know Xbox will be pushing to get this one out the door, as it is one of their most anticipated titles they have on the docket, and something that should be close. Playground Games is moving from racers to raising a village, and we'll have to see how they do. Can they capture the humor, the charm, and the addictive gameplay of the earlier Fables? Only time will tell. At number 7, we have inXile's Clockwork Revolution, which is a huge fan of BioShock Infinite. I love the look of this game. It is a first-person steampunk RPG with a time travel element, and that's all you gotta say to me. It looked awesome. Mysteriously absent from this year's Summer Game Fest. No word on when this will come out, but it looked pretty far along when we saw the debut trailer back in 2023. As there's no BioShock game on the horizon, this kind of feels like it's filling the void for me and maybe many others, but there is a game higher on the list that also should do the job even better. At number 6, we've got Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, the Amy Hennig penned big Marvel story game featuring Black Panther and Captain America. Know very little about this one, but it is Marvel, and I believe Marvel wants to make a better push in the gaming space after their Avengers title kind of fell flat and was canceled and closed down earlier than they anticipated for a games as service type title. Marvel 1943 is a linear single-player game, which, hey, that's right up my alley, and I loved Amy Hennig's works at Naughty Dog. Hopefully she can bring that same kind of success and same kind of unforgettability to this Marvel title and deliver something that is benefited by being in the Marvel universe, but could stand on its own as well. At number 5, we have Grand Theft Auto 6, which will inevitably be the hugest game of 2025 by far, without a doubt, no questions asked. GTA 5 didn't grab me, but I'm excited to try and get grabbed by GTA 6 because these games are absolute world juggernauts. They take over the gaming space for sometimes a decade, and I hope that this one is really cool. We have a lot of ideas about what it will be like, but how will they truly evolve things, and will it feel like more than just GTA 5.5? We'll wait and see and find out next year. At number 4, we've got Metroid Prime 4, which had an epic and very un-Nintendo-like debut at the recent Nintendo Direct. The game looks like Halo, but on the Switch, and that alone has me excited. The graphics look more dynamic than anything Nintendo has ever produced, and Nintendo doing a single-player linear game I think is very exciting. A story-based game with Silex back in the fold, Samus looking shinier than ever. How many open-world elements will have flown their way into this title? How many modern ideas from other first-person shooters will Nintendo borrow? And how will the series feel evolved after playing the epically remastered Metroid Prime 1? At number 3, we have Doom: The Dark Ages. I thought a middle-aged focused Doom game would be boring and rote, but it looked anything but. The weapon arrangement they showed in the initial trailer is absolutely jaw-dropping. The graphics look fantastic, and this is a next-gen Doom game that is going to be fast-paced, ferocious, and full of all sorts of freaky alien action. I've loved both 2016 and Eternal. I think it is one of the most reliable shooter franchises on the market, and frankly, we don't get enough first-person shooters these days. So Doom: The Dark Ages has a lot of weight on its shoulders, but I think it can lift it. It also should be out early in 2025, which is even more exciting to me. At number 2, we have the new 3D Mario game that is heavily rumored and highly probable from Nintendo as they debut their next generation system in 2025. As the first title on Nintendo Switch 2, it will be our first chance to see what Nintendo can do with 4K graphics and a bunch of hardware power. Previously, they have worked with a ramshackle board and a spec list that makes even me cry. Now, though, they should dive deeper into what it means to be a modern video game system and how they choose to apply that to Mario after not releasing a 3D Mario game since Mario Odyssey has me very excited. I think the glimpse that they showed and the attempt they made, the experimentation they took in Bowser's Fury is quite bold and could bode very well for what a 3D platformer can be in 2025 when given graphical power, when given hardware power, and when given the great minds of Nintendo getting 8 years to cook up this title. I think the new 3D Mario will probably end up winning Game of the Year next year. That GTA 6 will be up for it, and it'll just depend on your personal preference, but I'm expecting a 10 out of 10 stunner from Nintendo as they begin the journey into their second Switch system. That leaves us with number 1, Judas. Ken Levine's new masterpiece that he has been working on for years takes the BioShock franchise in an even crazier direction, allowing you to interact and engage with characters and manipulate the story in more ways than ever before. If you name Ken Levine and a BioShock like, I am in. And Judas looks to take advantage of all the things that made BioShock great, while also expanding on 20 years of experience within this type of immersive sim franchise. Ken Levine would not let a game come out if it is not up to his legacy, as he knows people remember him as the BioShock guy. And he hasn't put anything out for over a decade, so there is a lot riding on this one as a chance to make an immersive sim work, to sell well, to be successful, to review well, and most importantly, to be memorable. Can Judas be the next BioShock? That is a tall task for any game, but with Ken Levine at the helm, I have faith that if anyone can do it, it's him and his new team. I think Judas looks absolutely incredible, from the goofy horses to the powers we've seen, the little bit of gameplay that they have showed, and the epic idea of being able to align with different characters and have that shape the world and shape the story as you play your personalized Judas playthrough. I hope this game releases in 2025 and we get to experience what a future next-gen BioShock is truly like. Even if it's different in name, it has a chance to rewrite the course for the genre of immersive sim and for what a single-player game can be in our modern era. So there you have it, the top 25 most anticipated games of 2025. Are there any that I missed or any that you think look extra awesome and should have been higher up on the list? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.